language that the Senate is actually communicating. Honorable Speaker, I am one of those people who would be totally opposed to removing money from NGCDF. I am also one of those people who will be totally opposed to interfering with the road maintenance levy fund. Honorable Speaker, we know that the counties are dealing with very, very critical functions that go to the heart of the common person at the grassroots. The counties are in charge of agriculture. The counties are in charge of health. The counties are in charge of water. The counties are in charge of social services. The counties are in charge of rural roads and all those other functions that are critical. What has happened in this country in the past that we must deal with, that we must confront, is the fact that we were able to devolve functions. We were able to divide these functions without actually doing proper costing of the functions. The end result is that counties have been given functions which they are unable to perform, Honorable Speaker. Counties have been given functions without the requisite funds to manage those functions. It is a duty, it is a historic duty of this House to right those wrongs. The only way to right those wrongs is to be reasonable, is to be sensible, is to address these issues objectively. Honorable Speaker, my own layman mind tells me that even the 415 billion that the senators are proposing could still be way below what the county governments need. Honorable Speaker, in the fullness of time, we might actually find that the county governments require much more money. Honorable Speaker, I'll be proposing that after this current budget cycle, we agree as a House to perhaps constitute a select committee, a special committee, to look at this whole aspect, this whole issue of functions and their costing. Honorable Speaker, unless we do that, we shall continue to starve counties of the monies they need to implement, to perform the functions that they have been accorded, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, this is a no-brainer. I want to plead to my colleagues to support this motion and endorse the amendments as proposed by the Senate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, you'll give me some time. I said I'll give 2 from my right and 2 from my left. I have given 1 each. I'll now give the majority whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think it's important for us not to engage ourselves in populism politics when we are discussing very, very serious matters. We all live in this country, Honorable Speaker. NGCDF has been in existence for over 20 years. Yeah, for about 20 years, Honorable Speaker. Devolution in this country came into place in 2013. But you can hardly show what devolution or county governments have done compared to what NGCDF does. Honorable Speaker, it's important for us to also to be very factual. Some of these governors that we are defending so much, that we are or county governments that we are defending to have a lot of money, cannot even spend the amount, cannot even spend the entire amount whenever they get it. We are getting into the closure of the financial year, but you'll realize that some governors have not even spent a quarter of the amounts that they got when the financial year started. I mean, really, here we are debating on how we can be able to add them more funds for roads when we all live in this country that governors do not even do roads, or the county governments are not working. We are telling them, this House, if we allow the proposal by the Senate on the division of revenue bill, Honorable Speaker, it will then mean that the amounts that we place for the 22% that is under the control of the members of parliament should be managed or governed by the governors. When we know their incapacitation, when we know they are not able, when we know they will not do it, when we know they will use it for other purposes. Honorable Speaker, in totality, when you say that you have the money, like Honorable Opiam Wandai has said, you must show which place you are taking this money from. Who are you subtracting to add for the county revenue? Which person are you subtracting? And in this case, the main casualty will be the members of parliament. It will be the NGCDF. It will be the NGAF. Instead, we should actually be discussing on how we can add NGCDF money. We discuss on how we can be able to add NGAF, because at least we are able to see what NGCDF is doing, what NGAF is doing. Members of parliament seated on the opposite side, Honorable Speaker, are only playing populism politics. They know even from the counties they come from, it's nothing. I see Honorable Rene shouting, but in her county there is nothing. Roads are pathetic. I was there last weekend. The roads that are done by the governor Nyaribo in Nyamira is zero. He's doing nothing. I see Honorable Obadia complaining here, but you go to Bomachoge, Borabu, the village roads that are supposed to be done by the county governments have not been done. They are pathetic. The ECD classes that they are supposed to build are not being built. We cannot add money to the counties. To whom much is given, much is expected.
Honorable members, do not raise your hands. Honorable Kibagendi, use your cards. Honorable Mayaka, you don't shout.
Yeah, use your cards.
I cannot see you on my screen. Stop shouting in the house.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I wind up, Honorable Speaker, to whom much is given, much is expected. A lot has been given to the county governments, but we can hardly see. You will need a microscope to identify what governors do. But everything NGCDF does is in full glare of the eyes of everybody. Everything that the NGAF is doing is visible. But you will need a microscope to see what governors are doing. You will see classes being built by NGCDF across the country. You will actually mark. But in the county government structure, you will actually need a microscope. What the only development those guys are doing is walking in a convoy of 20 vehicles, moving around funerals. You know, one vehicle carrying a chair, another vehicle carrying carpets, another vehicle carrying goons, another vehicle carrying microphones, another vehicle carrying a girlfriend, and then they go there, they disrupt functions in barrios, carrying themselves in high titles, and then you are discussing on how to add the money here. Governors should be subtracted money, not being added. And that subtraction should come to NGCDF and NGAF. And for that reason, Honorable Speaker, we reject the proposal by the Senate on the Division of Revenue Bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, honorable members, I will then give the member for Migori, Honorable Fatuma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support this because I come from Migori County. I also have a governor called Ochilo Ayako who is working. Honorable Osoro, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, Honorable Osoro has a personal problem with Simbarati. I can give you guidelines on fighting him, but saying that county's money was